Hello, welcome to Options Brew TV. I am your host, Lex, and we have a great guest today, Mr. Anthony Buchanan from Let Bob. Hi, Anthony. How are you? Welcome. What's happening?
What's going on, Lex? Thanks, guys. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. We've been kind of planning this for a number of months, let's say. I was almost going to say years, but let's say months, because you've flipped around in terms of what you were doing, and then you landed with this Let Bob thing, and I'm really eager to understand it. But because I love the name, first of all. It's got, I got like the Bob thing. I need a t-shirt, man. So we got to figure that out.
I get my team to send you a shirt and a hat, man, and a bag.
That's awesome. I'll wear it on the show. How's that sound?
Okay, it works for me. I get your shirt.
All right. One of those hats behind me is one of our partners' hats. I turn it sideways when I'm talking to other partners so no one can see it.
That's cool. Nah, I don't mind.
All right. Let's learn about Anthony first. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got where you are, and then we'll get into Let Bob and what it is and what you're doing. It's really interesting stuff. So I'll let you have the floor and I'll be quiet. How's that sound?
That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, I was born and raised in this small rural area called McCalla. It's outside of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Got my undergrad from Florida A&M University, FAMU, the best HBCU ever, in Tallahassee, Florida. And I started in computer information systems. So I started my career as a developer. And so I did about 10 years in the industry, working in corporate companies. And I saw this dude named Curtis Carroll he was actually in prison, this young black guy. And they were doing a special on him, how he taught himself how to trade while he was in prison.
Oh, wow.
And being a techie, I saw his trading strategies was like this paper. And I was like, man, it's got to be a way to automate that. Little did I know it was a whole industry on automatic trading and quants and all these things. But I had never invested in the stock market or participated. So I was very ignorant to the space, the finance space. That was in 2017. And so I set out to build a tool to trade my own money and get, accustomed to the markets. And when I was telling people what I was working on, everybody was like, well, I want to use it and I want to use it. And so it turned into a product. It didn't have a name. So the funny part, I got my first patent and raised my first capital, and I had no name. It was called a trading app. That's what we were. And so I would learn so much about the industry, man. And Let Bob was born. The more knowledge I got, the more I learned like where the need was for the automation, for the AI.
Sure.
And we spent the first couple of years really trying to figure that part out. Like, how can we build a tool that was reliable and efficient and that was capital preservation focused?
Sure.
And so we were able to create the technology to do that. And so from the tech, we've built different products that kind of lives on that tech. Bob is the name of the company, which stands for Black-owned business. But the other term we use for Bob is he's the representation of our AI. Like we refer to him as Bob, right?
He's an imaginary thing living in that computer that's spitting all this great data out, right?
Yeah, because what you see is people who use it are like, well, Bob got me out, or they start referring to it like he's real, right? So
that's
kind of latch onto that, and it's kind of cool because I find myself sometimes doing the same thing. Did you check and see what Bob is doing, right?
So let me ask you a question then, Anthony. So when this whole Bob thing, you wrote the algorithms that Bob is searching for? Is that all your brain power and thought and coding? Is that all you?
Majority, I have a team, but it's from my mind, right? So the idea is that we can train Bob any strategy. That's the goal, right? So it's not so much it's algos, but the AI is trainable based on replacing the human trading aspect of things. So we can easily train Bob, to trade the way that Lex trade or trade the way Anthony trades, or, any trader for that matter. He's a technical analysis trader. He's really good. In fact, we have a ETF on the stock exchange. Let B is the ticker, and that's powered by our AI technology.
Okay,
Um,
it's called Let B as in boy?
yes, Let B,
Okay,
LETB is
and
the
that's the
ticker.
ticker on the, and it's on the NYSE.
Yes, yes. We
Oh,
have
and
about 25, 26 million under management right now.
oh, great, terrific.
And did really
So
well last year. We did
yeah,
really well.
okay, and then so that ticker, so it's an ETF, is that right then?
That's correct. An
Okay,
exchange traded.
so yeah, so it's exchange rate, and then the investing public can go buy or sell that, right? No
Yes,
problem.
yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Wow. And then how does that ticker, how does it how does it increase in value? What sort of metrics do you present to the investing public that makes that stock go higher? What kind of things happen to make Let B the ETF go higher?
So it's an all cap ETF, meaning that we focus on all company sizes, right? And so
Okay.
we make stock selections based on pattern recognition and like momentum is
Okay.
really the basis of how our AI strategy for that particular product works. And so, given the market, how the market is performing, you'll see growth there. We launched in February of last year,
Hmm.
so it's only been declined since we came to market. But even with the decline, like Bob did really, really well. I think we, because we are capital preservation focused, we were in cash a lot last year, just because it just wasn't any momentum to the upside, really
Sure.
trend definition defined
Okay.
for. So that's pretty much how it gets value, just based on the market and movement to the upside. It's not we don't take short positions or anything like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So we want to see and own companies that are trending and producing value to the upside.
Okay. So that ETF, it moves based on your performance, and the asset management part of it, right?
That is correct. Based
Okay.
on how the outcome of the different positions we take on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Then if we're in cash like we are right now, you won't see any movement
I
on it.
gotcha.
Not
Okay,
investment.
good. You said you do not yet trade options in the fund or what you're doing currently. Is that right?
Yeah, not publicly. Bob trade options.
Oh, okay.
We've traded options with him, and he knows how to do it. But because of who our customer is today, we
Yep.
just kind of hold options for a later date. Just going to get a little bit more established around equities
Okay.
and showing just how the technology and building trust in the marketplace.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So now just for description so people understand, you are a registered investment advisor, is that correct?
Yeah. So our robo advisor is a registered investment advisor.
Okay.
Um, like I told you, I didn't get into this until 2017. And so as I was learning how to trade, I saw how terribly difficult it was.
Hmm.
And I come from a software engineering background. It's
Sure.
one of the highest levels of industry that you can participate in. And
Yep.
so even for me, it was very challenging. And so I had this idea that I could help others participate without having to go through that same learning curve and those ups and downs of losing cash
Sure.
on the journey, by having a system that they could leverage the technology and just bring money to the table. And so that's how our robo works. If you just have money, it will make stock selections for you and then buy and sell those stocks as well. No, I was just saying it will manage how much is
Mhm.
allocated to each position that it take for you.
I gotcha. So you manage people's money. If there's a customer, he wants to be involved, he is going to be a client of yours, and you are going to manage the money. This customer isn't doing any trading decisions. Is that accurate?
That's correct. Well, somewhat, right? So we do
Okay.
have a feature where you can give Bob a stock that you're interested in. So
Okay.
you can say, well, Bob, I want you to buy Tesla for me and add it to your pick list. And
Okay.
if Bob finds opportunity based on how he takes entry and exit points in trading, then he will buy Tesla based on your recommendation.
Yeah. Okay. So the point I'm making, and I totally understand. The end user is suggesting things he or she might want to have in the portfolio. When Bob finds it, it's automatically traded through your
Yeah,
system and through Let Bob and the RIA process and et cetera, et cetera.
that is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
very cool. How
Yeah.
how many updates or suggestions can one of your clients make? Is it infinite, or is it do you keep it to a small universe? What's the answer there?
No, it's based on how you want to build out your recommendations to Bob. He's only going to trade when he finds opportunity. So
Okay.
you can provide, a basket of 10 or a basket of 100. He's not going to take a position unless it's a high probability to the upside, because
Okay.
we don't short stocks or anything like
I
that.
got you. Okay. Wow. Is that cool? So then, if that's the case, I'm assuming the system manages the amount of money being used for the individual client. So obviously, if a guy or gal has $10,000, they can't go buy hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shares of Amazon and Tesla and all the high price stocks. You have thresholds that have to be met based on the capital under management per user.
That's correct.
Okay, so they don't really put a quantity. Bob sort of assesses that.
We do everything. All they do is put the money in the account, and then based on that and your suitability, we determine your risk, and then Bob will buy and sell stocks that align
Yeah.
with that.
Wow. I kind of want to hang around with Bob a little bit. I got to be honest. I think Bob is kind of cool. I mean, I love this. Bob could figure out what restaurant I'm going to. I think what's the best restaurant in the new town.
He can tell you based on their stock performance for sure.
I see. I love that. That's even better. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
So okay, so it's letbob.com. I'll throw that across on the screen. So what sort of criteria do you need to, or does a user need to have in order to be allowed into, I don't know if I'm saying this right, the fund, or allow you to manage the money? Are these accredited investors? Is it anyone? What's your minimums? Do you have any
Today,
on that?
for Bob to have a good amount of money management power, we recommend $100, but there's technically no minimum.
Okay.
It's not for it's for any level of income, right? So
Okay.
accredited investors could leverage it, much like the 26 million that Bob trades in our ETF. There's no
Okay.
account size we can't handle. The robo was more for putting a Wall Street style money manager in the hands and pockets of just your everyday guy.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
So if you got 10 grand, 5 grand, $1,000, $100, 20,000, he will take and buy stocks accordingly. What we focus on is individual stocks, right? So we don't
Mhm.
tend to buy in ETFs. We buy the actual companies.
Got it.
So with that comes a little bit more volatility and more risk. And
Sure.
so the way that we take our approach as to taking positions, we really limit the risk for our clients who's using our app.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. So have you thought a little bit? I know we talked about the options earlier, but the more you say, the more I'm curious. Have you thought about any hedging of portfolios? Let Bob do some hedging strategies that might protect that downside. And again, you know where I'm going to go with this. It's probably going to be in the option space ultimately.
Of course.
But it sounds like it could be a kind of a neat little add-on, assuming the customer has the right thresholds and risk parameters and et cetera, et cetera. Is that in your thoughts for the future?
Of course. We have a lot of opportunity we want to bring to the table. It was more about proving the concept and showing ourselves to the marketplace first. And then we'll start adding different things. We're working with some partners now to add third-party strategies to the platform. Today,
Okay.
we just use our internal strategies. So Bob is buying and selling based on how we decide to manage money.
Okay.
Where we're bringing third-party strategy partners into the play, and you would be able to select, okay, well, I don't want to use a Bob strategy. Maybe I want to use Lex strategy,
Okay.
right? And Lex strategy has to be approved by how we invest money and how we protect our clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once that approval process in play, then Bob will buy and sell like Lex trades.
Okay.
That client account.
Interesting. So you could potentially, there could be other strategies that, and would Bob sort of approve them, essentially say, yeah,
Yeah.
that Lex strategy, that guy is a knucklehead, or he sucks. So Bob says no all the time to Lexus strategy. Is that
It could be a potential, right? Our chief of trading,
uh-huh.
Dave, he would do a strategy review first,
Okay.
and the strategy doesn't fit our brand,
Ah,
meaning
got it.
the approach of the strategy and how it works. We wouldn't approve it for the platform. But once it's approved for the
Okay.
platform, then it's fair game for whoever wants to use it.
Got it. Now, have you ever had to hit Bob up the side of the head?
Of
Meaning,
course.
he suggests something, you're like, that ain't happening. No
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah, we've early on, we've traded a lot of money. So we started in the financial advisor space,
Uh-huh.
and we were trading, about 40, 50 million over there just with the AI, and we're getting the AI where it needs to be. So
Mm-hmm.
he learned, he knows how to block trade too. He was block
Oh, yeah.
trading in the advisor space. So that was kind of cool. Because with block trading, you have to also allocate
Yep.
on the results of the trades. And so he was allocating as well. So he's equipped to do a lot of different things. But for us, we found focus was a little bit more of our where we need to be right now in the marketplace. So we don't try to do everything. We try to just be really good at one thing
Right.
and add organically to value for our
Sure.
clients.
So do you find that in these environments, so we've obviously have a high volatility and a higher volatility environment, right? We have pretty good moves up and down in the marketplace, generally. Is Bob pretty good at pulling himself away from situations, in the downside of things? I mean, how does that all work out? Or does he just take the lumps like everyone does when the market gets hammered?
We measure risk by way of exposure.
Yeah.
So we try to not participate when it's volatility
Okay.
sideways, right? We want to see upside momentum because
Mhm.
Bob's a momentum trader. So we want to see an established upside momentum trend before taking on position. So since our inception in February of 2022 last year, we've
Mhm.
never been fully allocated because the market just has never permitted for it. It's never been a defined trend that we find necessary for us to fully allocate and take on that type of risk.
Okay, good. Wow, it seems like Bob does all the things I kind of want to do just in my own mind, and I'm full of emotion, and I can never do it. I look at I don't know if you knew this, but I traded all my life, right? And we
So
ultimately figured out how to do a sort of Bob thing on our own because we pretty much sucked at getting in and out of trades, and we figured let our electronic thing do the work and take emotion out of the equation, right?
yeah,
So,
nah, it does because as you know, I'm a trader
yep,
too. But yeah, that's the emotions, the lack of discipline, the psychology is definitely the
yeah,
highest demand in trading. And when you're talking about a automated system, it doesn't have emotions.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Today it does.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
yeah,
it might. Where technology is going, you don't know what
sure.
is the future.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so how how does someone I put the website, let me throw it on there again. So this is how someone signs up, right? Goes here, and I'm sure there's a form we fill out and
No,
uh
actually, you just go to App Store. So you can go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and
okay,
look for Bob. Type LET space BOB, and our
okay,
app will come up. You install the app, and then you sign up by creating a profile with your username or excuse me, your
okay,
email and password, and then you'll start on the journey of creating an account.
okay.
Or you can just subscribe to our brokerage account, or excuse me, our podcast account, where you hear discussions like this, and
Hmm.
we have to bring in guests to talk about just business, finances, the market, just everything kind of Bob focuses on as a company.
Yep.
So that's you find that kind of cool. Yeah,
No, that's good. And so you get it in the App Store, let space Bob. You go on that, and then you make your username, password, all that sort of thing. Um, you deposit money somehow, that has to happen eventually, uh
correct.
into your brokerage account, and then so you don't have to give me specifics necessarily unless you want to. How do you guys make your money? Are you guys doing basis point sort of things, money under management? Are you charging just a subscription fee per month? What kind of things should the customer know?
Right now it's flat rate and it's based on your account size.
Okay.
Um, but we're looking at probably changing that model a little bit and just make it a flat rate for the technology. And then there's
Okay.
no cost for the money management. So you can put no matter how much money you want on the system. So just simplifying our pricing model right now, trying to
Okay.
manage different account sizes and marry them to a subscription.
Right.
And we decided that we don't want to, be in that route anymore. So we're making changes to that. But
Okay.
it's a subscription-based model, regardless of how we do the pricing.
Okay. So no matter whether you have $100 or $1 million, it would be the same subscription fee per month, I'm assuming, or you could pay it annually.
Correct. Yes, that's
Okay.
where we're moving to. Right now, it
I
would
got you.
depend on how much money you have.
I got you. Okay. So that's moving. Any ideas on when that changes over to the new pricing model?
The goal is by the end of the month. We
Oh,
launched our
okay.
product back in October, and we saw people. It's just different in this world, man. Like we had a lot of fraud attempts, a
Did
lot of
you?
wire attempts. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
The-
and
the-
then, yeah. So you have a compliance person or something who's watching out for that. I'm assuming, that, yeah, it's in the air right now, Anthony. I'll tell you that. And from my side of the business, we've had it too. So it's some funny things going on.
Yeah, yeah, very funny because it's fraud, but it's real information. So it's like, how do you
I
figure out
know.
it's fraud? So
Yeah.
we've had to adjust the way we price the product and how we kind of
Mhm.
onboard the client to
Okay.
prevent opportunities for fraud. So that
Yeah.
was the driver of the change.
Okay, good. What other details did I miss here or did I not ask about that you want to share? I see we got 25 minutes or so. We're gonna wrap it up here soon. Tell me some more that the folks should know.
No, just be on the lookout, man. We're really getting aggressive this year with letting the public know what we're doing.
Okay.
We so many years early on, just getting our product where we were willing to present it to the marketplace, because we imagine people's money, we take that really serious. So we just
Sure.
want to make sure we got the trading aspects of things in a
Yep.
place where we're comfortable with and could take and protect someone's investment
Sure.
without driving it to zero. Bob's
Yeah.
not going to be that bad trader, right? We want to make sure when he's in the market, he's a good disciplined trader and is consistent with his performance over time. So that
Right.
was our focus point. And
Yeah.
now it's about letting the public know we're here and we want to add value to you.
That's awesome. That's great. I love it. I think, golly, I'm noodling in my head here, thinking of all the possibilities, right? I mean, you're scratching the surface. There's so many places you can go with Bob. I mean,
We're
it
getting
can be, yeah. I mean, I can't wait till Uncle Bob is working crypto.
Yeah, we get requests there all the time, man. But with the clients that we target, we don't think they're ready for crypto yet. But
Yeah.
we see more regulation there.
Right.
We would be open to some partnerships
Yeah.
to
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not ready for crypto either. I've never traded a single crypto in my life.
I
So
have.
no.
I traded. When I was starting, I did Bitcoin because you remember it
Did
was
you?
2016. Yeah. So
Oof.
I was good. I made money, but
Good.
now what I know, I shouldn't have been trading. I was just
Yeah.
riding the wagon, man.
Yeah, I know. I can't do that. I got to trade options, man. That's all I know. So
No, I love options personally. Futures is my go-to. I love futures
oh,
trading.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
that's
that's
kind
going to
of
be in the system eventually. I'm assuming, right? Bob's gonna.
I don't know. Futures is this automation is so the key to automation is liquidity and
Mhm.
um there's no room for mistakes in the futures world.
Yep, that
So
makes sense.
I don't know, if we want to do that. It will be guided. If so, we'll have
Okay.
a blended approach to offering futures, but we'd never allow Bob as a trader to trade futures on his own. It's just
Right.
they could cost an entire account and some, right? So we don't want to
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, Anthony. Well, that's great, man. I love it. I need to give Bob some dough. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I need, Anthony?
Man.
What's that? Say it again. I'm
That's an
sorry.
opportunity for us to partner or something. I don't know kind of the ins and out of your daily trading or how your system work or what you got going, but maybe we have a side
Yeah.
discussion and see if there's some opportunity for us to do some business together. We're always
Yeah.
looking for good partners to present for
Yeah.
adding value to our clients.
I love it. I'd be happy to do that. So that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. We'll talk about that offline. That'd be terrific. Okay, great. This is great. And I know I'm gonna score one of those hats or one of those shirts. I know it's coming.
Yeah. Nah, I'll get some out to you. I'll get my my assistant to shoot you an email and get your address, and we'll
All
send
right.
you a
I love
Bob
it.
packet.
I'm gonna give me a Bob pack. I'm wearing it on the show. I'm gonna wear the Bob package on the show.
All right, cool. All good. Thanks.
All right, great job. Way to go, Anthony.
Thanks,
Talk to you in a
bud.
minute.